1分钟开始啊，1分钟开始，马上了。各位网友，大家好，我是央视新闻的记者刘成，欢迎大家
Dear
通过央
viewers,
视新闻
my
记者
name is Liu Cheng. I'm from CCTV. Welcome to our live stream program. I'm now in Huizhou of Guangdong province. I'm at a national natural reserve for sea turtles. Today, we are here to celebrate the release for sea turtles. There are some highlights. First of all, a lot of sea turtles, as much as 100 sea turtles, will be released. And with each of them, there's an embedment of the satellite tracker. And the third highlight is that we have decided to release all these little sea turtles in wintertime. That is the first time for China to do this. And most of them are artificially reproduced ones. And it's also the first time for us to release this big size of artificially reproduced sea turtles in wintertime. The first time for China to do this release of this large size of sea turtles. For the relative information, we have the pleasure to have Mr. Chen Ming, the Associate Prof from ECNU. So, Madam Chen Ming, this time we have released a lot of sea turtles, as many as 100. So do we have a lot of species or only one? As you can see, we have the smaller ones, bigger ones. However, they belong to the same species. They are all the green sea turtles. How can we determine that? Actually, you can not only see the color of the shell, you should see the shell form. You have 5 parts in the middle and 4 parts respectively at each side. And let's look at its head. There are 2 smaller parts here. In China, there are 5 species, and in the whole world, there are 7 species in total. For example, the green, the loggerhead, the Cam's Wrigley, olive Wrigley, hawksbill, etc. And today we are releasing the green sea turtle. So actually, during my observation, I missed a crucial information. You can not only rely on that black and red color. For example, for the human beings, we may vary in our skin colors, and you cannot tell the species of the turtles only by their color of skin. In China, we have 5 species of the sea turtle, and 80% of them are the green sea turtle. And here we are releasing mostly the artificially reproduced green sea turtle. Did we say that we have a lot of sea turtles in China? Actually, it's not true. It's the level 2 protected animal species, and maybe in the future it will be upgraded to the level 1 protected animal species. And according to the CITES convention, an international convention, it is forbidden to do the trade on the green sea turtles. And do you know the dinosaurs? And actually, the sea turtles are dated back to the same period of the dinosaurs. My colleagues asked me questions after knowing that I'm doing a report on that. The question is, how can we tell the difference from the sea turtle and the terrapin and the tortoise? How could tell the difference from all those three kinds. For the three kinds, the sea turtle, the terrapin, and the tortoise, they are not the name of the species. However, we could tell the difference from them, from the habits of living, from their habitat, and also their form. For the sea turtles who live in the sea, as you can see, the four legs. Let's look at here. They are the flippers. The flippers are like the flippers with a fish or with a shark. It's in this shape because they have to be adapted to the sea environment. If you look at one tortoise, and in the documentary, the largest tortoise have very strong legs. They have the paws, and very strong ones. They don't have flippers. And for the terrapin, they have the paws and a bit of the flipper so that they could be adapted to both the land and also the sea environment. For the sea turtle, most of the time in their life it's spent in the sea environment, in the water. So in order to tell the difference from the three kinds, the sea turtle, the terrapin, and the tortoise, you should look at their legs. For the sea turtles, they have the flippers and also the pointed ones. But for the tortoise, they have stronger legs and also they have the paws. And for the terrapin, they have the both characteristics in order to be adapted to both environments, namely the land and also the sea. And all those characters would facilitate their living, whether it's on the land or it's in the sea environment. And later we will show you a video clip to tell you how those sea turtles lay eggs. I'm curious about the eggs of the sea turtles. Do they have a hard shell or a soft shell? Actually, I'm afraid that if it is the shell with softer character, it may be broken very easily. Because I've seen this kind of information in the documentary. So I'd like to ask my colleague to show this video clip of the egg laying of the sea turtle. So when laying eggs, if you have ever raised the fox, you may see the little tadpoles. The tadpoles, they are just like the fresh eggs laid by the sea turtles. They first have the soft-shelled character. It's covered by one piece of shell, the layer of shell, and the soft is a relative thing. For the eggs of the birds, some of them have tougher shells, and for the others have softer shells. And for the shell, it's relatively hard, and it's not that hard, and it's relatively soft, it's not that soft. And when the mother sea turtle is laying down this egg, and when the egg falls into the nesting hole, it will not be broken. And I have also observed the marching of the sea turtle, and I think it's not that slow that they move. However, when they age, the older they become, the slower they will walk or the slower they will move forward. I think you can look at this topic from two different angles. When they are very young, when they are still hatchlings, they are facing the dangerous environment because they are facing the predators and some other menacing and challenging environment, or the agents, they may eat them up. So they have to be really quick. And then when they grow up, they have larger flippers, so each time when they move forward the flippers, it takes more time. And people are asking us when we will release the sea turtles. Actually, the ceremony has started. We have started the release already. This is a very big sea turtle. And we'd like to say thank you to Professor Chen Ming for your explanation. And the next guest is Mr. Ye Mingbing, the senior engineer from the Huizhou National Natural Reserve for Sea Turtles. This is a male sea turtle. As you can see, it has very strong and long tail. And it's a male green. And we have embedded a satellite tracker in his shell. The function is very simple. There will be signals sending out by this satellite tracker, and then we receive the signal, and we can know the real-time position of the sea turtle. As we can see, this is the tracker of satellite. And we can ask our colleague to show you a video clip how it is embedded in. In normal conditions, the tracker could work for 2 years. In the sea environment, it can transmit a signal and receive the signal. For the temperature and the other relative information, it can be transmitted by the tracker from the satellite signal back to our side. And later, this information could be considered as a reference to the protection of the sea turtles. And then there's another choice that is an electronic chip. I have participated in rounds of sea turtle releases. Normally, we will choose to do that in summertime or in autumn. Why this time we have decided to make it in winter? First of all, in Guangdong province, it's also very warm in a winter season. As you can see that we are putting on very light clothes. The sea temperature is favorable to the adaptation of the sea turtles. We have already pre-evaluated the conditions. For example, what is the food status in the water, and the temperature of the water is around 20 degrees Celsius. And the algae and the jellyfish and the other mollusks, they are in abundant amount currently in the sea. And all those are enabling conditions for our release of the sea turtles. So over there, we are about to move another sea turtle back to the sea. In the past, you have participated in person in the rescue missions for the sea turtle, and today we are bringing them back to the sea. Are you proud of that? For us, because we work for the National Natural Reserve, and sea turtles, they are the marine animals, they come from the sea. In the past, we have saved a lot of them. Maybe they are challenged by the bycatch action, or they are challenged by the environmental pollutions and the other predation. And here is the tide. With the tide, it's easier to bring those sea turtles back to the sea, right? Yes, So this one is reluctant to go back to the sea. They are moving very slowly on the sand on the beach. And this one is about 100 kilos. We say that it moves as slow as a worm on the land and fast as a dragon in the sea. And we hope that this one could go back to the feeding site safely. Another one. This one cannot wait to go back to the sea because it's lighter in weight, so he can be quicker on the land. And this one is saved by our mission. Some of the released sea turtles come from the rescue mission of Leiyang city of Hunan province. And the 14 of them are released today. And by this chance, we'd like to say thank you to the law enforcement workers on the front line for the rescue mission of the sea turtles. And here comes another one, another reluctant sea turtle. This one comes also from the rescue mission, right? Yes. First, we will start with the saved one, the larger one, and later there will be some artificially reproduced ones. And you are familiar with each of them. So all of them are saved by you. This is another one coming from the Hunan province. And during the rescue mission, I have worked with the frontline agents. I gave them the critical information for the protection and the maintenance of the sea turtles. For example, you have to use the special facilities to carry them, and you have to pay attention to the temperature because too much low temperature is harmful to the sea turtles. And in a civil society, a lot of people will also practice the release of the sea turtle. Some people will buy the sea turtle and throw them back to the sea. And here's an information for your small notice. To release the animal back to the environment, back to their habitat, is a long tradition of China. However, it should not enforce it, especially for the protected animals. They are under the protection of the law. The illegal trade of these animals will surely harm them. However, if you buy them intendedly, then it will send a signal to the poachers or the other traders, illegal traders of the turtles. Today we have the artificial reproduction of the sea turtles. This year is the second time for us to release the artificially reproduced sea turtles. The first group is released back to 2017, and this time we have released a lot of larger size of the hatchlings. For the artificially reproduced hatchlings, and also the success of the artificial reproduction, is it a good news for the protection of the sea turtles? All of them are artificially produced. For these artificially reproduced ones, it is an add up to the total family of the sea turtles, because in the natural conditions it's hard for all the eggs to survive, it's hard for all the hatchlings to survive. if we can have a success in the artificial reproduction of the sea turtles, then it will be a very good supplement to the whole family. As you know, in the natural environment, only 1 out of 1,000 eggs can have a sea turtle growing up until adulthood, because they are facing the challenges like the predators, environmental damages, and pollutions, etc. What is the best way to hold them like this? So they belong to the same clutch, right? Because they have the similar size. Actually, they come from the same year. They are born in 2017. Maybe they come from different clutches. For the hatchlings, they are very small at birth time. It's about 20 grams, and they are in black color. And the older they become, the yellower they become. At around 20 years, they will start to turn black again. And later for this green species, upon adulthood, they will become green again in color. And there's a question. Do they bite? I will give him my finger. The green sea turtle will not bite. But some of the sea turtles, they will bite. For the loggerhead, the green, and one other kind, because they are herbivorous sea turtles, they will not bite. For those artificially reproduced sea turtles, it's time for them to go back to the sea. And because they are raised by you, we will feel sad because you don't want to be separated from them. Those baby sea turtles, they are leaving our family to go back to their big sea, the ocean family. We hope that they could be safe. I have participated in several times of the live stream program for the sea turtle release. And in recent years, we've heard that the total number of the sea turtles is decreasing. So what is the explanation for that? The whole environment is deteriorating. For example, the feeding site and also the spawning site. And then there's the poaching and also the bycatch and the other human activities damaging their habitats. And for the technology of artificially reproduced sea turtles, it's already mature, but there's still one problem. Because usually for the sea turtles, the drive to the sexual maturity takes 20 to 30 years. And to apply this technology, it demands the efforts of generations and generations of the people. So for one round of artificial reproduction of the sea turtles, it takes 20 or even 30 years. So after one round, maybe we are already at the age of retirement. So we are waiting for the next generation of workers and colleagues to take over our work in the future. And for this artificially reproduced sea turtles, could they be easily adapted to the sea environment? We have already accomplished the evaluation, and we have studied carefully those sea turtle hatchlings born in a natural way. with the scientific way of feeding and also the facilities, we could make sure that the sea turtles could move a long distance after the release back into the ocean. They could go to the Hainan province and even to Vietnam in a safe way. They could go back to the feeding site, and then when they grow up, when they arrive at sexual maturity, they could come to this point for the hatching. And what do they eat, the sea turtles? Today we are releasing the green sea turtles. For different sea turtles, they have different feeding habits. For example, there are some species who have the habits to eat meat, and for the other sea turtles, they will eat majorly the algae. For the green hatchlings, at the beginning they are omnivorous, and later when they grow up, they will become herbivorous. Sometimes they will eat some mollusks, and sometimes they will eat jellyfish. Yesterday I read some information from the board. The plastic bags sometimes will be mistaken by the tortoise. Plastic bags have done a lot of harm to the marine animals, for example, to the dolphins, to the sea turtles, and the others. Sometimes they will mistake these plastic bags as the jellyfish. They will swallow it down, and later they have problem of the digestion, and it will directly lead to the death of the animals. Jellyfish is one of the favorite foods for the sea turtles. There's a possibility that they have very weak sight, so they cannot easily tell the difference from a plastic bag from the jellyfish. They will eat whatever they catch. You are the professionals for the sea turtle protection and rescue, and also for the artificial reproduction. For us, the ordinary people, those non-professionals, what can we do to protect the sea turtles? What could be our contribution to the sea turtle protection? For the ordinary people, I think there are several things you can do. First of all, you should refuse the trade of the sea turtles. You should not consume the products coming from the sea turtles, and you should not intendedly buy those sea turtles in order to release them. And also the plastic bags. As we mentioned before, the sea turtles will mistake the plastic bag as the jellyfish. So for the ordinary people, please do not throw away the rubbishes and the plastic bags anywhere you want. And these little ones, you cannot wait to go back to the ocean. Let's get him out of the box. You may think that they move very slowly. Please go back to the big ocean and go back to your family. Come on. Good job. As you have said before, it will move as slow as a worm on the land and as fast as a dragon once it's back to the sea. And now he's catching up with the rest of the group. Today we have talked about the artificially reproduced sea turtles, and we are asking questions whether they could be easily adapted to the natural environment. And in China, we have launched the first training center for the sea turtle. In this center, there are 4 major functions. The first one is the rescue and the save of the sea turtles. For example, sometimes there's the bycatch of the sea turtles. We will move them to the center, and we can use an artificial condition to realize the mating of the sea turtles after they arrive to this sexual maturity. That is the second function. And the third function is a platform of scientific exchanges and communication. Today, for this event, we have invited the foreign experts and the Chinese experts from the other provinces to have the communication and also to have a seminar, and they can offer their professional advices. And the fourth function of this center is for the scientific education. There are corridors and the windows for the display of information, and we can give this information and education to ordinary people and even small children, so in order to raise their awareness of the animal protection. And now, as we can see, this place is surrounded by mountains, and it's only one direction facing the sea. This is a good environment for the sea turtle, right? Yes. Usually when the sea turtle come to the land for the egg laying, they will choose a calm and quiet environment. And here we have a very good geographic condition, a favorable condition for the egg laying of the sea turtles. And today is a good day. The weather is good. We hope that all the sea turtles released will go back to the sea very safely, and one day they could come back to the beach to lay eggs. I have one more question. When we embed those chips or the trackers back to the shells, will it do some harm to the health of the turtles? Actually, no. It's very small, the chip or the tracker, as small as 1 grain of rice. When we put it into the shell, it will not do any harm to the sea turtle, and we can put it under skin of the sea turtle, and the longevity of this chip could be many years to come, and zero harm to the health of the sea turtles. And dear viewers, it's about the end of our live stream program. Thank you for tuning in with us.